Okay. Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm David. We're talking about the final 4 episodes of Big Brother 7 All-Stars.
It's the finale! But first, if you're new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up.
And if you want to support us on Patreon, there is a link in the description. Sarah!
David!
I mean, we have to talk. Obviously, we're here to talk about these 4 episodes.
Yeah.
But this is premiere week also of BB22. We are here.
Yes, it's finale night because it is premiere week. We got to wrap this up because we got stuff beginning. Yes. Oh my goodness. We have a 2-hour live move-in on Wednesday. We dropped house photos today. We basically kind of know the cast, but like, do we know the cast? We don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have no idea.
A lot of people think they know the cast.
Yes. So tomorrow, David and I are going to go live. We're going to have like a pre-game, a pre-show. I'm too excited. We got so much to talk about. So tomorrow,
I know.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we will do that. We'll talk all about BB22, what we know so far, and of course, speculate. And what we might be excited to see.
To do, yes.
And then, of course, on Wednesday, immediately after the premiere episode, we will be here live as well to recap and to just be even more excited.
Yes. I mean, I got to say, like, just as a little tease for the video tomorrow, I didn't hate the house photos. So I'm excited to discuss them with you. And like, things are looking good. Yeah.
So we like this house. People are really nice.
Yeah.
All right, let's bounce back to 2006.
Let's do
for the finale.
I mean, for the last time. I mean, you know, this has been a fun season to watch for sure. Like we've said before, like a lot of firsts this season that have stayed into Big Brother as we know it now.
Yes,
you know, Slop, the Big Brother fast forward, which we now know is our double eviction format, like all these things. And there's more firsts. Yes, right. Yes, OT, right. And there's more firsts in these final 4 episodes that have stuck with the game. So like interesting to see that. But on the other hand, you know, it's just 2006 and people say things that we don't necessarily say now. So
I am wearing a vintage 2006 shirt just for this finale recap.
Can
I call it
vintage? Of the closet.
If it's just been sitting in my closet. I don't know. Yes. Definitely wore this in 06. Definitely been sitting in my closet ever since.
I mean, I'm glad that you kept it. You know, you found another use for it.
Hey, here we are. Okay. So episode 25 is where we're starting tonight. Right. This is just after George was kicked out in the double eviction / BB fast forward.
Yes, and just after he met Colonel Sanders, which was one of the weirder things I've ever seen on Big Brother. So
yes, moving on from that.
But a lot of the
top
is like background of what happened in that fast forward because this was the first time they'd ever done it.
Yeah, and we get the closed caption from what Will was actually saying to Janelle. Like ultimately he's manipulating her to make all these decisions and to get George out, to keep Boogie safe, you know, blah, 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 blah. We get into kind of some showmance packages while like Boogie's admitting he's not going to take Erica to final 2.
Right. Immediately after she says like, oh, I'm going to go to the final 2 with Boogie because I can't win against Janelle or Will, which is true. I don't think she could win against Boogie either, but that is her best chance. So she's saying like, I want to go with Boogie. And then immediately after, Boogie is like, I am not taking Erica. Like that is not. Yeah. Will is my final 2.
Yeah. Then Mike's like, I'm the king of showmances. And the key is don't have real feelings. Cut to Erica being like, I have real feelings for him.
Oh my God, it's just so embarrassing for Erica, this whole edit.
It's rough. It is.
Then we do get Will and Janelle also in the diary room saying they're boyfriend and girlfriend now. Like this is a CBS dream scenario to have 2 showmances in the final 4. Like this is what these producers live for. Will admits that he's kind of in a flirtmance with Janelle. There's not real feelings because their relationship has not been on the same level physically as Mike and Erica all season. Like Will and Janelle are definitely both kind of playing each other to a certain extent. So he calls it a flirtmance. But truly, it's the bromance with Mike Boogie that is what he cares
Right.
about.
I just have to say hello. Amber is my cousin. Thanks for
Oh,
joining
hi,
us,
Amber.
Everyone in the chat, we're related.
I love that. A family affair tonight.
Right? We got family in the house.
Yeah.
Will and Janelle are talking about how they both have someone back, boyfriend, girlfriend back there. So it's just a flirt
Yeah.
mance for
Yeah.
them. But
Right.
ultimately, like we've been talking about all season, it's really the bromance that is running this show for sure. Erica is stress smoking.
Yes, she's picked up smoking again, and Boogie thinks that's ugly. She tastes like an ashtray. It's just like this is the beginning of Boogie just crapping all over Erica for like 4 episodes straight. So
yeah, it's just not a good look for Mike at all.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna
play an HOH.
Yes. This is a days comp. They have to know their days. If however many days they're off, they get a penalty step back. So you want as few penalties as possible. What I learned from this is that Erica does not know her days.
She doesn't.
Like that's just it. Erica, what have you been doing all summer?
Yeah, you have not been studying. I really don't believe that she like threw this in any way. Like I think she just is bad at the days.
Right.
Mike and Will are neck and neck, like I think Boogie ends up winning this by 1 point, 1 day for Will. Again, kind of interesting to see Will trying, but like this is the week where all you really get by winning HOH is guaranteed final 3. You've secured your safety for the week, which is super important, but like your nominations don't matter. The only thing that matters is who wins the power of veto now, because they will cast the deciding vote. They will cast the only vote to evict.
Right. I mean, we talk about this every year of like how the veto is super important at this point, but there's no reason not to try to win this HOH because you get to play in the next one, unlike all the others. So you're guaranteed safety, and so you're not going to get voted out, and you get to play for next HOH. Like just win it, just try.
Do it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, save yourself the stress in these, final days of the house. So Boogie wins it, and now Will and Boogie decide we got to turn Janelle and Erica against each other now because we need to guarantee Will's safety. Boogie's safe. We just got to make sure that Will is now safe. And that means we're, pitting the girls against each other. So they're like stirring the pot.
Yeah. I mean, it's what they've been doing for a while, and they just have to keep it going. I mean, that's what Will is so good at, is just being that last one in the room, last one to say it. Like, just keep it going. Just egg on as much as possible, and he does. He's working them against each other. We have a whole thing about Erica wanting to have a baby with Boogie. It's just
her biological clock. Like Will is joking about that. It's just like, again.
Then Will and Janelle have a little drunken spat in the hot tub. It's
so this is like where I think this is kind of the beginning of a little bit of the demise of Will and Boogie's plan. Like, I don't know if Will's head just got out of the game for a second, but like, you're not the one who's supposed to be fighting with Janelle here. Like, you need to keep Janelle in your good graces and make sure that she's only mad at Erica. But like, he's not really reciprocating what Janelle is like giving him in the hot tub. So she's kind of like, you're disrespecting me, like you're playing me, that kind of thing. A little bit of like crack in that relationship there. But they go into the storage room and they're kind of smoothing things over, right? And then Erica sneaks up and she's listening into the door. And I'm like, okay, good for her. Like, this is what you got to do. Get some intel at this stage in the game.
Telling Janelle at this point, we're getting Erica out. You're safe. It's all good. He's running through all the possible scenarios. I get veto. I vote her out. I like, you like, he's going through all of it. And you're like, oh my God, is Erica about to hear this?
Yeah, she's right there.
Mike Boogie
just walks right up and opens the door. And she's like, I was trying to listen to that. And then Mike he kind of like plays it off to Erica, like, whoa, what are you talking about? Like playing dumb. But he opens the door. The door is blocking him from Erica. And he's like, Erica was right there. And I'm like, Erica, oh my God, this is so embarrassing for you. He just ratted you out.
Yeah, this should be so obvious. Like, he sees that Erica's could potentially be overhearing some important stuff. And so
Yeah.
he cuts it off. And
Boom, boom,
Erica's all like, oh, Mike, he's so bad at spying. And you're like, oh my God, Erica, just open your eyes for like
I know.
1 second, please.
Right.
And be suspicious.
Yep.
Because it was.
So obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now they are playing cards, right? Now, you explained to me before we started rolling that they're like cycling through
Yeah.
the diary room. I wasn't sure what was happening because Will and Boogie are playing cards with Janelle, and then Erica comes up to the table and they just switch spots. And I'm like, why are the girls just leaving for like conversations to happen? But you explained that they're having diary room sessions.
Like when it's down to only 4 people, and especially when you're trying to like work other people and little side things, you have to wait till the person goes to the diary room. So that's clearly what was happening. Like, oh, it's my turn to go to the diary room. So they're all like, ooh, we're going to vote out Erica. Yeah.
Right.
Then, Erica comes back. Janelle has to go to the diary room, and they're like saying the exact same thing.
The exact same thing. That's like Chilltown's move. Like, use the exact same words to tell this other person the plan. So they're pitching the same plan to both of these women. Erica does acknowledge, like, you're probably telling Janelle the same thing, but she can't really do anything about that.
I bet you are, but yet she's not really believing that.
I know.
She said it like a joke, and I was like, but listen to yourself.
Because she's probably thinking like, well, you're telling it to me, which is for real, and you're also telling it to Janelle, which is fake. We're all lying to Janelle. This is
We're
great,
all lying to Janelle. Like, sure.
Because I'm the real third member of Chilltown.
Yeah, exactly. I'm part of Chilltown. They told me I'm part of Chilltown, so it's real.
Yes.
Okay, she does sort of make a plea or state her cause on not being nominated. Like, why would I be nominated?
Yeah.
I'm hooking up with the HOH.
Yeah, I don't want to look like a homance. If I go on the block, then you're prioritizing Will over me. And it's an interesting test for Boogie, right? Like, I like that Erica is doing this because it sort of is a litmus test for like where his allegiance is, because the nominations don't matter. All that matters is who wins the veto. So she's saying, please don't put me up. I don't want to be embarrassed in front of America. We all know it doesn't matter. So just I'm making a compelling case for not being nominated. I don't want to look like a hoe. Please do me that favor. And he's like, well, I can't nominate Will. And she's like, why?
Wait, why? But why? He's like, they're so just casually like, yeah, you're going to go up. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. And she's like, well, then will go up. And they're like, no. So if it doesn't matter, why are you just flat out no? That's not an option, Will. Like any other person who hasn't been snowed by these people for weeks, months would be like, oh, I see what's happening here. Like Danielle would be like, I see what's happening here.
I get it. Yeah.
It doesn't matter if I go up, but this person definitely can't go up. But once again,
I know.
She's not.
So Boogie does nominate Erica and Janelle, and he gives like a BS line about how he felt it was fitting that Will gets the last key of Big Brother 7 because Will got him this far in the game.
David, Will is eating yogurt. He's like,
so casual.
Are we doing noms right now?
Right.
Oh.
Well,
like so confident he's fine, doesn't even care what's happening. He's just going to be there with his yogurt. Meanwhile, Erica's face is just like, really? You did it? You really did this?
Yeah. Yeah. So didn't work out for her.
No.
Will is Boogie's number 1. But again, it ultimately doesn't matter in terms of the power of veto. But Erica and Janelle are nominees, and it should be a giant red flag to Erica that she was nominated.
Yep. Okay, next episode, we start in the jury house.
Ooh, and there's a hurricane. I don't remember which one it was, but I was kind of surprised that they were in Mexico. Like, how many seasons did they do the jury house in Mexico?
Well, last season, keep saying last season, BB6, the season before this, weren't they in like Canada? They went somewhere else because we were like, where are they?
They did. I don't know if it was Canada. Wasn't it just like Northern California, like Napa or something?
Yeah, maybe it was that. But I was like, why? Mexico? No, they've been going to Malibu the last I don't know, at least
Makes
maybe 5 or
sense.
6
Seems a lot
seasons. Yeah,
easier. Yeah.
much easier.
Yeah.
Just as secluded. So,
Mhm.
yes, but there's also a Hurricane Howie.
Yeah.
First we see Howie versus Marcellus. It won't stop.
Yes.
Then we see Howie versus George. Can't stop.
Oh
Like,
my
Howie
God.
is in a
Howie
bad
is
place.
a terrible person to
Yeah.
George. While he's just like petty and vindictive and will not let up against George. Like, is apparently just very butthurt that George beat him in this game and is just saying all kinds of rude things to George to the point where like George is kind of fighting back, which I'm not used to
Right?
seeing.
Oh my gosh, I've
And
never seen George like this.
yeah, and he's like storming out of the room. I'm like, whoa, George got pushed over the edge here.
Look, if I were Howie, I'd be super mad at George too. What George did to his Jedi Alliance member wasn't cool. But I feel like Howie has been put like Howie on season 6 was problematic. Inappropriate,
Yeah.
but he was a positive person, like a happy
Mhm.
person. This
Yeah.
season just took him to a dark place, and he
Yes.
is just probably, if he didn't get this, but at least needed a lot of therapy after this season.
Yeah.
It's just coming out in a icky way.
Yeah, for
right now.
sure. Now, back in the house, again, like Will is trying to stir the pot. And, you know, we kind of start with like Erica out in the backyard with Chilltown. And she is saying some things against Janelle, but Will goes straight into Janelle, who's cooking in the kitchen. He's like, just so you know, like Erica's talking crap about you in the backyard.
Right.
Again, just pitting these two against each other, hoping that they aren't going to catch on to this.
Yeah, he's telling Janelle, after she hears all this stuff, is like, Erica's an idiot. She can't beat Chilltown. She's playing for second. And I was like, oh, that's all true.
Mm-hmm.
But but it's not as bad as you think because Will's making it worse. But all that is true. But she does admit around this time that she has really fallen for Will. And I was like, oh, man. Oh, I was really clinging to that. Janelle's playing Will too, right?
Yeah, right. That's what we've been hoping all season.
But it's very, very little play and much more just like has feelings for him.
Yeah, right. But we go to a veto. We have the very important power veto competition. This is the shape of a star and, you know, things that happened all season on the different points of the star. You have to position house guest's face around it. There's only one correct answer, right? We saw a similar competition in BB6.
We pull the pictures of these people's faces out of goop and we're putting them all around the star.
Yes.
Will doesn't care who wins.
He's safe. It doesn't matter. He's going to be safe. He feels very confident.
Good to go. Doesn't matter. Mike doesn't know what the shape of a star is.
He keeps ringing in and just doesn't have a face at the top of the star. I'm like, there's just one more. You're just missing the one.
How about this guy up here?
You just got to get the point on that star.
Yep. But you know who wins, David?
Erica.
No, our top queen, Janelle.
This is what, her 5th power of veto now, I think is what they're saying.
I think so. Yes, she is on fire. They're even saying, oh, shocker, guess who won?
Yeah.
Janelle.
Yeah. I know.
Like, of course she won it.
Yep.
And, you know, Erica immediately goes to work.
This is when it gets good. Because Erica's back is against the wall and she's got to play the game now, right?
Yep.
She can't I think she's kind of in this space of like, well, Mike put me on the block. So I kind of know he's not with me. He's really with Will. And she is determined not to go home. And I'm loving this side of Erica. I wish we'd seen more of it all season. But she's just casually smoking with Janelle. And she's like, you can't beat Will. And I think you know that deep down, Janelle. And guess what else? If you send Will to the jury house, everybody's going to love you.
Big move. They'll love it.
Big move. Yeah.
They will love it. Yeah. She's saying all the right things. You can't beat him. You know, he's got to go. And then she continues that, you know what? I will promise you that I'll take you to final 2.
Yes.
Now
and she's like, the boys won't say that.
Exactly. Because why would Janelle believe Erica? They haven't worked
Yeah.
together this whole time. They've been pitted against each other this whole time. So
Mm-hmm.
why would Janelle listen and believe Erica? But she's got a
Yeah.
good point there. Will's not going to make that promise to you. Boogie ain't
Yep.
going to make that promise to you. She's
Yeah.
the only one who's even willing to make that promise, whether
Yeah.
it's true or not. I mean, honestly,
Right.
I was like, Erica, you haven't won anything.
Yeah. I mean, you got one
So
HOH.
odds are you're not taking anyone to final two, but
Right.
hey.
Yeah. You're not making that call.
Right. But Janelle's got to hedge her bets. She's got to line herself up as best as possible. So
Yeah.
it's starting to work and sink in a little bit
Mm-hmm.
to the point that Will's like noticing.
Yeah. He's like, well, I guess Erica's not as sweet as we thought she was. And it's like, no, well, she's just playing the game now and you're not happy about it.
Oh, you're the only one who's allowed to try to manipulate?
Yeah. Right. Okay.
Okay.
Well, and then Boogie is like, this is our show, and these bees think they're going to steal it from us. And I'm like, wow, Mike Boogie,
Gross.
you
It's
are
so
looking
gross.
great. You look so cool in these final
Oh,
4 episodes, Boogie. Yes, keep it
really?
up. Gross.
Right. Really do not look good at all. But
Yeah.
this is when it gets really good, David.
This scene.
Okay, first off, Janelle wakes up in the middle of the night to go smoke because she's probably stressed. F.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Erica hears her and goes out there because Erica
Yes.
did not stop. This she took a page from Will's book. Be the
Yes.
last one. She is always there, always in Janelle's ear.
Yeah.
We got to do this. We got to do this. And this is when they actually compare notes.
Oh my God, I love this scene so much because they're like, did he tell you that you're the secret member, you're the third members of Chilltown? Yeah, he told me that. Did he tell you that? Yeah, he told me that. And it's like dawning on them. You can see like the connections are being made in their brains and light bulbs are like blowing up over their heads. And they're like, oh my God, we got played by these guys all season. They finally get it.
They are laughing about it, but they're also embarrassed. Janelle's like, I am embarrassed. People have probably been laughing at us this whole time. I cannot believe.
Correct.
They said that to you. That's it. They said that to me. Like, we both thought we were parts of Chilltown. Oh my God. And it's just like, now they're like excited to go against them.
And Erica's like amping Janelle up. You know, she's like, okay, we got to get them. Like, how dare they do this to us? Like, we're going to get them out. Like, it's very much like a girl power moment. They have realized that men are dogs and they're going to like team up to get one of these guys out. And like, just a really great performance from Erica in this moment, I think.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like she's lying to Janelle and manipulating her that way, but she's just playing the game very smart right now. Like you say, a page straight out of Will's book. Be constantly in their ear, constantly uncovering, chipping away at things. Like, it's just great.
Yeah. Yeah. Or really, I wish we had seen, like you said, seen more of this from Erica.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But she at least was now going to play. Okay. So we get a little conversation with Julie asking about their relationships, which is just all sorts of awkward. It's just Big Brother was really excited to have 2 showmances and the final 4, and they were like, "Oh, talk about it."
Yeah, but things have clearly gone south at this point because all of them are like, "Oh, we're gonna be friends after this is over. We're just."
But this is what I thought was the best is that when they get to Mike and he's the last one, she's like, what about you, Mike? How's this relationship or whatever? And he was like, well, when I'm in the final 2, we'll see how her vote is for me. And she's like, oh, I'm not in the final 2 with you? Oh.
Again, Mike Boogie. And you know what, Mike Boogie? You apparently don't even know what's about to happen, which is great.
You do not. You do not. I thought that was amazing. She was like, interesting that I'm voting for a winner.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting that I'm on the jury. All right. Got it. So we get a live veto ceremony. Janelle, of course, vetoes herself, and Will is the only replacement nominee. And then we get speeches. Erica says, Janelle, make the smart choice. And Will says, Janelle, the jury hates me. Please save me from those people. Keep me safe, please. I love you.
Yeah. And she says, well, I'm done making mistakes. And for Marcellus and Howie, Will, you guts to go.
Yes. So satisfying.
Yes,
It
girl,
is
yes.
amazing. We get this moment between Erica and Will where Erica's like, good game. Like just kind of like rubbing salt in that wound because she's saying, I outplayed you. You played well, but I played better because now you're gone. And I love that moment. I love seeing Boogie. He is fuming. He is devastated. He is shell-shocked.
He is straight shook on that couch. His face, he can't believe what's happened. When he hugs Will, because Will's doing his rounds of hugs. When he hugs Mike at the very end, Mike starts to cry. You start to see him like break down a little bit, and then he like tries to like get it together as Will walks out the door. But it was bomb. It was such a great move. I mean, obviously Will takes it very well because he is a gamer and he's like, look,
it's true.
I got comfortable. They, you know, the girls got together and they did this move, and good on them.
Yeah. I mean, as much as I have like been grossed out by him, like his exit interview was very reasonable. He wasn't taking anything personally. It was just like, I underestimated Erica. I think Janelle's going to regret this. I don't think she is, but
I don't know where that came from.
You know, it's just very much like, I'm a gamer, no hard feelings. They got me, you know?
Right. He knew it was a possibility. This is, you know, he's in a vulnerable spot. He doesn't win things. He admitted, like, that's my strategy. I don't win things. So, you know, it puts me in this spot. So, yeah, great interview, fine with him. But, like, Mike is the one who was not prepared for this.
Not prepared.
I love that the girls didn't even hint that this was a possibility.
Yes, I know.
Mike was so snowed. Erica had been pouting the whole time. This is who's gonna go. Man. Like, they bought it. Janelle told Will, no, of course I'm keeping you. Of course. Like, I love that it's amazing. Were blindsided.
Oh, so good. So, of course, we are moving on to the final 3 HOH competitions. Part 1 is an endurance comp in the backyard. Big old mountain where you have to hold on to a key.
Is it an endurance comp, David?
It doesn't end up being that. I
think
the
the
producers
shortest
are like,
of all time? I need to look up that stat.
The producers are like, what the hell just happened?
Right. Why do
We've got a mountain set up in the backyard.
We got pounds and pounds of lava and goo that we were going to spray on them for nothing.
Right. Yeah, right. So what happens is they're hanging on to the key. They're all getting set. It's like, obviously, you have to be in a very awkward position on this mountain. They engineer it that way. Janelle specifically asks Julie before they get started, do I have to have both hands on the key? Yes, Janelle, for now, you have to have both hands on the key. Yes, that's a yes. Did you hear me? The answer is yes, both hands on the key, Janelle. Thank you. Mike then says, hey, Julie, trying to have his Richard Hatch moment. He jumps off the mountain and he tells the girls, you have no choice. Both of you have to take me to the final 2, and you both know it.
He makes a whole scene. Oh, he loves it. He loves being able to just be like, you both have to take me. So I'm jumping down. Which, first off, no, neither one would take you. You idiot. You're part of Chilltown. That's dumb if anyone were to take you. But he's just making a scene probably because he's upset that Will just left. And he probably just isn't in the mood to hang on for an endurance comp right now. But unfortunately, it's so shocking that all Janelle literally does is like a what?
What? Like with one hand off. And they review the tapes. And I saw it happen. And I was like, wait, no, Janelle, I saw your hand come off. And they go to commercial and they come back. And Julie's like, sorry, we rolled the tapes. And Janelle, you took your hand off.
Yeah.
Less than 10 seconds after I told you had to have both hands on. So Erica, you win. It's the most anticlimactic.
Yeah, for all of us, we're like, what? Oh my God. I mean, honestly, those 2 ladies could have stood up there forever. We probably would have been doing this. Although Erica did mention like throwing it to Janelle, which, thank you. I would have loved that.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, unfortunately, I saw it too. Like when it happened and I was like, are they going to let her get away with it?
I know. I was wondering the same thing and they did not. Oh my God. So they're all confused. Flustered. Janelle's like, I didn't take my hands off. And it's like, you'll see. They'll probably play the tape for you and you're going to see.
They'll play it in the DR and she'll know. So that takes us into the next episode. Episode 27.
Yes.
And she does say, yeah, I took my hand off, so whatever. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Boo.
Now we get a little bit of that like rewind again. Like we get a little bit more background before they were heading into that first part of the HOH. And I love like seeing Erica walk by Boogie in the living room and she just says checkmate, which I love because like he's still shook from Will like getting eliminated. And she's letting him know like I did that, just so you know. And, you know, he's like, well, now America knows Erica's a hoe and I used her and I'm done with her. And, you know, she gets credit for being a backstabbing witch. And I'm like, Boogie, again, like boyfriend of the year material. Like you are incredible. Gross. Like I can't.
This whole DR segment, which is obviously right after Will left. So he's very worked up, but he's just saying some awful stuff that you just shouldn't say publicly on camera about anyone, honestly.
Yes. And it's one thing if you're like saying it in the house, like they get comfortable in the house, they forget the cameras are there. I don't, you know, they just kind of like lose their heads a little bit. But he's in the diary room saying this stuff knowingly to camera.
Calling her a hoe. He said something about her ugly long face. It's just like,
oh my God.
So unacceptable. Yeah. Okay. HOH part 2.
Yes. So this is, unfortunately, I hate to say it, but like built for a man to win because, you know, at least with Boogie versus Janelle, even though Janelle is a comp beast, this is all upper body, like pulling yourself around in the air. And like traditionally men just have, you know, stronger upper bodies than women. So it's just, we went into this and I was like, sorry, Janelle, you just got no chance. Like Mike's going to beat you.
Yeah, I hate to admit that we have less upper body strength than men do, but it does tend to be true. So the fact that you have to like push yourself around, I mean, Janelle's gonna do great. We know that Janelle's awesome, a comp beast. I wish she had won the first one because I would have liked to have seen Erica go against Mike for this one because Erica's fit. Like she would have also done well. It's not like Mike definitely wins it, but they also win a car and then he's like sitting in the car and it's just like, all right, let's move on. Yeah.
You know? So then Mike tells Erica, you know, we can't beat Janelle in the final 2. I think he's just kind of trying to shore things up a little bit, knowing that he's going into this final HOH against Erica. So he's just trying to like plant that seed of like, right, we can't beat Janelle. Like we have to take each other. This is our only choice. And he's also kind of threatening her. Like if you evict me, I'm going to go to the jury and neither Will nor I are going to vote for you. Just remember that.
Yeah. Erica just can't win with anybody. They're always threatening her vote with her. Yeah. And, but it's true. Honestly, no one can beat Janelle. Janelle sits in final 2. She wins.
Yeah, she has 9 competition victories this season. I don't care how much strategy and manipulation you did, Mike Boogie. Really, Will did it for you. And Janelle won 9 competitions and you could not eliminate her. And if she had won one part of the HOH, that's 10. You know, like that's just an unimpeachable resume. It's incredible.
Okay, we did have a little bit in the jury house where Will shows up. And so they're super excited that he got evicted.
Yes, right.
Yay, finally. Yes. Okay, so let's go to HOH part 3.
Yes, so this is what did the house guests say, A or B? And it's close, but Mike wins by 1 point. And
1 point. I am surprised, Erica. I have little hope in you in comps that aren't physical. And she hung right in there. There was only one that she missed. So Mike wins by 1 point. And so we get some unfortunate celebrating on his part. Yippee-ki-yay. He does evict Janelle because he can't beat her. And I, in my notes, wrote in all caps, which is true.
Yeah.
So fine.
Yeah. So Janelle's out and she, you know, has a fine goodbye interview with Julie. Her biggest regret is getting Marcellus out because that was kind of like one of the early moves where Chilltown was like definitely playing her. And I think she's just kind of reflecting on the game and realizing like, like there were some moments where I was not playing my own game. And that's frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, that's real. And it was good that she remembered that because she did that for them. They
Hmm.
tricked her into doing it or manipulated her
Yeah.
into doing it. And
Yeah.
instead, she could have put Mike up. And what if they could have got Mike out at least? Or she at
I
least could have kept
know.
Marcellus. So,
Yes. Yeah. So at the beginning of the next episode, this is our finale episode. And
finale.
Janelle shows up in her red dress at the jury house with her tiara. And everybody is like, oh, Janelle, like we were hoping you would stay. But she is like on a warpath to make sure that Erica does not win this game. She's like, please do not let a floater win this game. Please, everybody.
She's real worked up about Erica, but it kind of bugs me because
Me too.
at least half, if not the majority of the thoughts in Janelle's head about Erica were planted by
Yes.
Will and
Yes.
Chilltown.
And how
So
are you
it
still not realizing that?
right. So it's so unfair for her to be arguing so against Erica because she's just still under the spell of
That's right.
Chilltown.
You're a pawn of Chilltown right now. You're
Yeah.
heading to the jury with only negative things to say about Erica. Like, ugh, how can you not kind of like snap out of it and be like, ooh, this is probably what Chilltown would want me to do, is
Yeah.
to, crap on Erica the whole time. But she's doing it.
And unfortunately, a lot of the other jurors are piling on and so just disgusted by Erica's gameplay that Danielle has to like speak up for all women.
Yes. Yes. She's like, listen, folks, like,
Yeah.
let's be honest. Erica and Boogie played a similar game, but why is it Erica that's the evil one? Why are we, just discounting the woman in this scenario, frankly, because I think it's like a little bit of flashbacks to her experience on Big Brother where she was, on the receiving end of this kind of thing, like people being bitter and angry at her.
Yeah.
And so she's just trying to come to Erica's defense a little bit, which I did like to see.
Yeah. I mean, it really is unfortunate because it's all subconscious. We don't realize we're doing it, but we give women we have different expectations. And when women lie to you, we like want to cut their throats for it. But Will and Mike lied to every single person the whole time.
Right.
And it's easier for us to support that. It's very mysterious.
It's like an
it's
expectation
real.
that men are going to lie to you, but it's a betrayal when women lie to you, and it's just like not a fair double standard. So I did love seeing Danielle stand up for her a little bit. Will is the one who makes the comment of like, I don't know, I can't put my finger on it, but Erica disgusts me. And if I were on the jury with Will, I'd be like, you can stop talking. Like, I don't care about anything you have to say because your boy's in the final two. So I know that you're going to vote for him. And I know anything that you say right now is just trying to convince us to vote for Mike Boogie, whether or not he played the best game. So you can sit out and let the rest of us discuss and decide how we feel about Boogie's game. Thank you very much.
Will is never going to stop planting seeds in people's heads. I mean, really, I can't put my finger on it, but she's disgusting. Like, what does that even mean? That's not something a jury should even be saying, but okay.
No. Yeah.
Marcellus does chime in and say he's disgusted by men manipulating women. And I was like,
and he also is like, well, guess what? Erica didn't have her best friend in the game to guide her. So like, I'll give her some credit there.
Thank you. Yes. Big Brother producers put Will and Mike together with an already formed alliance. Like they had the biggest advantage ever. But also the house allowed them to run it.
That's right. Yep.
Everyone in that jury, I mean, most of them started to admit it, but like
they did.
We fell for it. We let them. They played us.
Right. Yeah. Chilltown ran the game, and we all are now seeing it. So that's kind of our jury segment before they actually get to question Boogie and Erica.
Right.
And the Boogie and Erica thing, like by and large, it's Boogie being unapologetic about the game he played and saying, I'm not going to apologize. Yes, I did this. You would have done the same thing. Or in fact, you did, and it just didn't work for you, but it did work for me. And then Erica's saying like, yes, I did some things that I'm not proud of, but I hope you can respect my game. Like she's kind of on her knees, like, please vote for me. And he's there like, you got no choice. You have to vote for me.
Yeah. Erica does take credit for getting Will out.
Yeah, which is great.
is a good move, but I don't think anyone gives her any credit for it. At least those jurors don't give her the credit in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
She says, do you want to reward the person who did Will's dirty work, or do you want to reward the person who got him out? And I was like, that's so well spoken, that sentence right there. And it
Yeah.
does sum it up. But
Yep.
unfortunately, the damage is done and no one respects her at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
They
know.
just didn't like how she was playing.
Yeah. And, you know, and Boogie he does kind of have to like distinguish himself a little bit from Will, because a lot of people kind of do think like Will was in charge and you were his right hand man. But Boogie makes some points, like the whole thing in the red room where we got Howie out. That was me. I convinced Chicken George.
Yep.
You know, I like pushed him in that direction, which is true. He also gets to say, I had the coup d'etat and I didn't even have to use it. Like, that's another thing where like those are clear Boogie moves. He also makes a comment about like keeping Janelle in the game was one of his biggest strategic moves. But like, again, that's more of like a Boogie and Will move. But, you know, the red room and the coup d'etat, those are clear Boogie moves. So those are like some good things to like set himself apart.
Yeah, and I do appreciate that he put in personal touches. I think that's super important to say something about every member of the jury, make them feel seen and heard.
Yeah.
And then he basically was like, yeah, I did that. I'm amazing. And you need to reward me for it. And you're like, dude, you're gross. But yeah.
I know. But like, he kind of like handled the whole, especially the final speech part of it. Handled it like a pro. Like, Erica went first. She stayed seated. He stood up, like you say, addressed everybody individually. Like, it was kind of a masterful final speech, especially compared to Erica's. So you kind of are left like, well, I don't love voting for Boogie over Erica because of the way he treated her, but I can't deny that he played a better game.
Yeah. And honestly, I feel like in this moment, I do appreciate the move that Erica and Janelle did together, but I didn't think that she was playing much of a game until the very end.
Yeah.
So even though I don't give Boogie much credit at all, like I think Will carried him 90%, I think I still vote Mike in this situation.
Yeah, I think I do too.
It's hard for me to vote for Erica at this point.
Yeah. Now, when we bring the jury out, Julie brings them out and they cast their votes. And of course, like, everybody's speech is like a version of, I'm rewarding whoever played the best game, you know?
Yeah.
And then we get a little bit with the old house guests, and they're very excited to like bring Kaser and Allison and Nokomis and, you know, Jason, Diane out because they've been home watching the whole game, and they get to like drop some knowledge on the jury about like what happened behind the scenes in the diary room.
Yes. So we get receipts of what James said about Janelle, which is not fun for Janelle to hear, but he has apologized for that and keeps reiterating that he plays an emotional game. We get the whole Chilltown segment of them making calls and laughing.
Yeah, which is just like embarrassing for the whole house.
It is, and I was like, why are y'all laughing along?
Right.
They're
trolling you.
Yes. And like Danielle thought it was a riot. She was like laughing. I was like, this is not funny. I was like so unamused.
I mean,
was like,
my
Big
favorite
Brother
part
is playing you.
Yeah, right. My favorite part of the whole bringing back the old house guests is when Nokomis says it should be Janelle and Will in the final two, which I'm like,
100%. That is absolutely who should be in the final two. Agree. And then it gets even worse because they bring out Erica and Mike. Well, they're sitting in their chairs still, but now they're tuned into the show just for everyone to watch a segment of Mike just being disgusting towards her.
Just having to relive literally some of the worst parts of this season. And it's very embarrassing for Erica. And I'm like cringing watching it, and the only thing he can say is, well, you know, it's an edited TV show. And it's like, okay, but they edited together things that you said.
Right.
And that's the end of the
Those words
story.
came out of your mouth
Yeah,
about a
right.
girl that you were sleeping with. Like, I
Mhm.
mean, you can see that this is like stabbing Erica. Like, this is
Yeah,
so embarrassing. And she does handle it
she
fairly
does.
well. Like, she makes a line about, like, I think we both were playing each other, but you can tell, like,
Mhm.
she's not happy about this. It's not good.
No. Yeah, right. So thank God we're done with all that because we get to go to the actual votes. The first vote from Marcellus is for Erica. He stood by what he was saying, that he loves women, and he voted for the woman in the final two.
Well, thank you, Marcellus, because nobody else did.
Nobody else did.
The rest of them gave it to Mike, which is understandable. Again, we don't like him as a person.
Right,
We didn't
right.
enjoy some of his behavior, but
Mhm.
he was part of Chilltown, and Chilltown ran this entire season. You cannot
Yeah.
argue that.
They ran the
So,
entire season wearing Chilltown merch the whole time, letting everybody know that they were in an alliance from day
going to the
one.
DR together. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It all just, it was set up for them,
Yep.
and no one caught on or cared enough to take care of it.
Yeah.
So there we go.
So
Mike
Mike is the winner.
is the winner. Both members of Chilltown have one big brother,
Yes.
and he's just going to invest in some more restaurants. And,
And I don't care.
yeah. But we do get our first, it's basically America's favorite player. They called it America's favorite juror.
Another first that is still in Big Brother to this day.
That's right. 25K to our girl, Janelle.
Of course.
course.
I'm shocked, said nobody. Like everybody
Yes.
was like, yeah, America voted. Okay, yes, Janelle won. We already know that.
Yeah, of course. Janelle is the favorite. Thank you very much. I'm sure Will thought it was going to be him, but it was not.
I'm sure he would have liked that. Yeah, he's probably like, oh, if anybody can beat Janelle in a popular vote, it's me. But no.
Mhm.
Given the chance, America will give Janelle everything in the world.
That's right, we will. And if she's on BB22, get ready for some more of it.
Yeah.
I fall for her mist. You know, a lot of these people have that mist, and I fall for it.
I'm here for Janelle for sure.
Yep.
So that is BB7 All Stars. I had fun watching this one.
Yeah, we rewatched/watched Big Brother 7 original All Stars. Who knew the timing was so perfect? Because now we get our second All Stars. There have been no All Stars since 2006.
Yeah.
This is it, you guys. So It was
Crazy.
so fun to see this season.
Yep.
And 2 members of this BB7 original All Stars are rumored to be on Big Brother 22. So can't wait to talk about them tomorrow.
Tune in tomorrow to see.
Yes, when we talk about BB7. Thank you so much to everyone who rewatched or watched and followed with us. How fun was this? We appreciate you guys hanging out in the live chat. We appreciate you guys who joined us later and commented your feelings, especially when you watched it live in 2006. You had feelings and
right. Yes. Again, thank you guys for joining us on this journey, and we will see you tomorrow.
But yes, wait, tomorrow, we talked about this before, but let's just recap. Tomorrow, Big Brother 22. We just got stuff to talk about because Wednesday's the premiere.
Yep.
We've got house pictures.
Oh my God.
We've got a live 2-hour move-in that has some sort of twist that we have to speculate about.
Yes.
And of course we have to speculate about the cast.
Hello.
Because many rumors.
We got a lot to cover. We got a lot to cover.
So stay tuned for that. And then, of course, Wednesday, right after the premiere, we'll be here live to recap. And then at some point, David, I think we want to do a draft, but I just don't know how that's going to happen this year.
You guys.
Exhausted.
We're going to make it all. We're going to try to make it all work.
Thank you for the super chat, Seth. And thank you,
Seth.
everybody else. We will see you guys tomorrow.
Bye.